How's it going, guys? Right now you're just watching some of the random footage in the background. Perhaps maybe it's to do with The Witcher 3 or the Cyberpunk 2077, the footage. So this time around I'm just simply gonna have a general conversation and my thoughts. So like I was thinking about the Cyberpunk 2077 when I have finished through the Witcher 3 again on PC this time, when I obviously finished the game. It was actually quite damn fun experience again, having and just putting all the mods and stuff into the game and having a blast pretty much all over again. And this time around I have a interesting conversation to talk about regarding those both games. So here's my proposition. What if Geralt from The Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt, or The Witcher 2 and 1 obviously, he could be the reincarnation of the male character or male protagonist in the Cyberpunk 2077 right now, as you can see. Would that be kind of a far-fetched kind of a thing, or maybe they're not even going to talk a little bit about it? Maybe they're not even going to make any connections or anything like that. Maybe it's completely new protagonist that we're going to have in Cyberpunk 2077. What if, like, for example, with The Witcher 3, Geralt, he died somehow, right? Because like it was a very historical game type of, and it's possible that like say Geralt himself could be reincarnated into this male protagonist in the Cyberpunk 2077. And let's go as far-fetched as Yennefer, right? Yennefer from The Witcher 3, she could have been actually this woman right there on the ground, perhaps unable to control her powers or so. Maybe she's gone rampage and you're about to take her out, kill her, pretty much take her out. Could be meaning of many different ways, but anyway, you as Geralt, or the male protagonist perhaps, will be taking care of Yennefer. And at the very cutscene of the footage, not cutscene, but anyway, I guess it's cutscene maybe, the end of the trailer, you can see that pretty much she just joins in a similar team as you, if that makes any sense. But anyway, you're and her are partners, or sort of say, maybe. And perhaps maybe she develops some kind of relationship or some kind of romance with you, but perhaps you're so very android robotic that you barely have any emotions and feelings, right? Just like Geralt. Come on, like even though Geralt has his romantic side and stuff, and Yennefer and Triss and so on, so many other characters do see in Geralt, perhaps maybe there's something else about this character in the Cyberpunk 2077 that is something very special about him, that the woman just can't ignore him, Maybe it's not to do with love, but something else at least. Hopefully it's not a bad thing though, because like as a protagonist, as a player, you don't really want to be on a woman's bad side, so to say. I'm just being very positive thinking anyway. Anyway, but so what do you think of an idea, Geralt being reincarnated into this character right here, and perhaps maybe let's go even further, right? Far-fetched. Basically, let's say himself remembers who he was before. Would that be crazy? Even though reincarnation does not work like that, obviously, but let's just say he somehow knows about his past, that he was Geralt, a monster slayer, monster hunter, basically, an expert in fact. And so wouldn't that be interesting story-wise? Or perhaps would you like to see completely new character and maybe somewhat of a similar situation? Perhaps he does not remember his childhood, or well, obviously if he is made of robot, like an android, they wouldn't really have any proper real childhood. Perhaps that is if you implement a memory into them, but I don't know. This is very far-fetched, and I'm not too sure how it's gonna go down anyway. Yennefer, perhaps maybe this lady, android lady, she robot, so to say. Anyway, maybe she could have been Triss instead. I don't know, instead of Yennefer, or maybe as a reincarnation, obviously, or a completely new character as well, just like that. I don't know. I was just thinking about this a little bit about Cyberpunk 2077, and as soon as I finished The Witcher 3 again, I was really giving extra thought into it, and I don't know. I think it would be pretty damn cool. Perhaps maybe during the game you could find out more about yourself, and then you start to remember things from the past that we have played through. And also there were some rumors about Geralt making an appearance of 2018-2019 game. That is if it's real or not, but it is a rumor. And I don't know. This could be very interesting implementation, but though also I need to mention about the rumor thing, that the Cyberpunk 2077 may not be coming out 2018, 2019, or anytime soon by that means. And may actually come out 2020, 2021 or something. And it's been pretty much indicated that the game is definitely going to be coming out on next generation consoles as well, PlayStation 5 or the Xbox 2, if that's how I gotta name it anyway. But I don't think it's a crazy idea. I really don't think so, because like The Witcher 3 already has implemented such an amazing and bunch of cool ideas in there. For example, in fantasy settings, that's already a crazy idea. Obviously, a lot of games done this. You can see it by the Horizon Zero Dawn. Look, bow and arrow shooting at the robotic dinosaurs. What the, it's crazy, but it works very well indeed. And I don't know, maybe perhaps also in the, forgot to mention, The Witcher 3, you get to go into different times and realms and dimensions, that you get to visit new places that you've never been, or you never play there, in fact. So one is underwater, one is in the desert, and the other is in the pure ice mountains and stuff. And there's one more I completely forgot for some odd reason. Oh yeah, the forest, like poisonous ground has and stuff. That was very cool, actually. I like that feature in there. It gives you such an interesting twist in the game that you would never really expect, and I think it works so well. I hope they do a lot of this in Cyberpunk 2077. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit of a fantasy world type of futuristic game. Obviously, because it's futuristic, there could be many different things that could be a possibility, and the developers could always think of something extra or new or more. I don't know, but it's still not far-fetched, because like something like this happening in the future settings, robots just pretty much taking over the world, but that's like a Terminator now I'm talking about. That's insane a little bit, and but it's not out of the question. You know what I mean? So, and I was just thinking about the reincarnation of the Geralt going over to this male protagonist, male character in the Cyberpunk 2077 in the game. So that would be pretty cool. Also, I just wanted to mention an extra information regarding the Cyberpunk game 2077, basically. There is presumably going to be a night and day mechanic and settings. I'm not just talking about the dynamic weather. I'm talking about the living, the mechanics of the people, of what they do, what they serve to do in any case, poor and rich. Obviously there's going to be a very big imbalance in the game. It's normal, it's life. But in the futuristic settings, we don't know what's exactly going to happen, except we can just predict things, right? And we could see by the data and the facts, that's how we know what's going to be happening in the future, or so on anyway. In the game, obviously, you can make up things that you just never even thought would have been possible. So, also with genius minds and so many creative minds all in one room or area, you can come up with some amazing sketches, ideas, and artwork, and just phenomenal just clues that you could never even figure it out before on your own, for example. So my thing, what I'm trying to say is, as it stands, basically in the game, that is believed, that's not confirmed. It is my speculation that might be happening, might not be happening. So it's a grain of salt. Take it as a grain of salt. So basically, down the ground there are all the poor, humans, so to say, people on the ground, right? Everyone's poor, very poor, like barely any money, barely very shitty jobs and stuff, right? Any higher you go into a section, for example, there's a city on top of a city on top of a city, because there's such a very tall buildings and stuff, right? There's a section of the altitude you go up to, right? The higher you go, the more rich it gets, right? The very, very highest point you get to, obviously billionaires lived up there, millionaires, trillionaires. I'm sure it should go even higher than that, to be honest. But as we can see that you're the character playing role as a cop, a detective perhaps, or something to do with the safety basically. You're a cop, basically. They just said, you're police, right? Obviously you get to see all the different parts of the areas, right? The poor, the rich, and the medium. Or perhaps as well, you're the cop on certain each of the section that you need to be staying in one part. If you're in a poor section, you stay there. If you're in the middle section, you stay there. If you're in a rich section, you stay there. You do not intervene or interfere any other sections, and you're not allowed to. It's illegal, and you could probably, I don't know, they could kill you for that or something, or they take away your memories or something like that. I know I'm going a little bit Altered Carbon, a little series coming like kind of that far thinking I'm doing anyway. But I don't know if that would have been totally out of a question, you know? If they could implement something like this into the game, flying cars, obviously, I think it has to be a thing, obviously, by the footage you can see in the background. But it's, I don't know, I think it would be very, very cool. Anyway, that's just my far-fetched ideas, so to say. And what do you think down comes? Tell me. Am I crazy, or is it just too much, or it's just not enough? Anyway, my biggest question of the day, anyway, basically, tell me down in the comments about the Geralt being reincarnated into this male protagonist or male character, whatever, and if you think it would be awesome or not. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Have an awesome day, and peace out.